Well, it's a Hyundai, or as some of my friends prefer to call them, a Hyundai. So we've got a 2001 Hyundai Elantra here on the property. Just purchased it cheap last week and just got it running yesterday evening. So we'll do a little walk around and kind of elaborate on what we got here. The previous owners, their daughter was driving it in a nearby town, and she said it left her stranded. Wasn't able to get any clear information as to what happened or why. They thought it was a fuel pump, but no, it wasn't. Turned out to be a starter motor. I did not pay a lot for the car, and there is some body damage. That's indicative down there. That is that busted plastic down below, bent up hood, little fender damage, and the headlight is a little bit loose. That's all deer damage. That's all from a deer strike. Crinkle on the fender, crinkle there. I mean, it's got imperfections, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it's 01, so we're in 2015 right now. It's not going to be in perfect condition, and believe me, for what I paid for it, you might expect to see far worse. All in all, this car is in fairly decent shape. So, anyway, kind of to the point here. Bought the car for the daughter of a friend of mine, who I think they said they're going to be getting married next year. Need a car. So, found a car, stumbled across it. The owner actually didn't want to put any more money into fixing it. They just bought a Cruze, a Chevy Cruze. So they decided to liquidate this car. So I bought it and put a starter motor in it. Starter motor for an 01 Hyundai Elantra, $140, right at that mark at the auto parts store. Sure, I could have got it cheaper by shopping around online and so forth. But I went to a U-Pull-It, or rather my friend did for me while I was at work, and got the starter for $20. That's core charge included. So that beats $140 any day of the week. So it runs and drives. It does have some miles, like 215,000 miles on it. But now the only mechanical issue that I'm aware of is the wheel bearing. Driving this car home from where it sounded and felt like driving a blender. Thought the noise was coming from the back left tire. Came out this morning, checked it out. Getting a little bit of brake noise on the back left, so I'll have to check that out. But the actual culprit is this back right tire. It's not supposed to be able to do that. So, given the noise that this thing's giving me going down the highway, it gets really bad about 45, 50 miles an hour. Quietens up a little bit once you get up to about 60, but you know, between the 45 to 55 mile an hour range, it is just a noise maker. So need to replace the wheel bearing, and on these Hyundais you don't replace the bearing, you replace the entire hub. And I got a quote from 3 different auto parts stores ranging anywhere from $60 to $80. But again, I'm going to go to my friendly U-Pull-It Auto Parts, and I can get a complete bearing and hub assembly for around $20. So that beats the price of a new one. Sure, it ain't new, but if I can find a good low mileage one, I could just about rest assured that, you know, got ourselves a good bearing. How well does it run? Well, let's kind of take a look here. Fighting the cold with this wacky Oklahoma weather. Cold and hot. Cold and hot. Starts right up. Runs good. And the motor sounds good. No check engine light. As I said, the airbag light stays on, but that's associated from the deer strike. Radio works. The power sunroof don't. It does not work, and it's got some headliner issues. Runs good, shifts good, but you can't really hear much of anything over the roaring of the wheel bearing. You know, headliner issues, Seats are in need of a little help. It came with these seat covers, which at first they were going to take with them, but decided last minute not to, and just kind of left that one off. You know, it needs a little vacuuming out, a little scrub-a-dub-dub. The dash is not cracked. That's really quite surprising, being an 01 and being from Oklahoma. But anyway, that's another little project we got coming up here in Fort Redneck World, an 01 Hyundai Elantra, or as my friends affectionately refer to them as Hyundais. But we'll go up to the parts salvage yard as soon as I can, get a new wheel hub with bearing in it, get that installed. I got to do some cleanup on the engine. I think they had a major oil spill when they when they changed the oil or something, because there is oil everywhere. I'm not seeing any current leaks, but we'll see. Well, here's our dual overhead cam 16 valve 4-cylinder engine, and you can see by the oil, I don't know if this was a past leak that they fixed and then never cleaned up or what. I'm not seeing any current leaks. I just drove it home yesterday and I don't know. There's an interesting place for an oil filter, wouldn't you say? That's a different place to do that. But yeah, it's a little bit of an oily mess. We're going to try to do some cleanup to try to get some of this junk cleaned up. I'm probably going to replace this radiator hose and do what we can to clean everything up here to make it a little less nasty looking, but it runs and drives, so that's the important part. And you're not going to get perfection for, you know, a 14-year-old car with 200,000+ miles on it. You know, fortunate that the body of the car is in as good a shape as it is. So anyway, there's our next project, and my mom ever gets back from church with the Malibu, well, I'll see about working on that, because I got a project to do on that. Go ahead and charge these batteries and show you what we got going on there. So thanks for watching, and comments welcome. And when I get the parts, I'll see if I can do an install video on replacing the passenger rear wheel hub with bearing assembly in it. Anytime you've got a bearing issue, you don't want to ignore it. My friend worked on this car and drove it 6 or 8 months ago, I guess. Told her she needed a wheel bearing. Okay. Obviously nothing was ever done about that. Not good. Don't ignore your wheel bearings. Bad things can happen. Thanks for watching.